like the politicians we were speaking about, like even the leaders of the church. As we have continued a series that have continued to hammer on one thing, but today we are talking about giving you and showing you how to live a holy and righteous life. So this message is more about you yourself, encouraging you not to be like the hypocrites, like those that are described in the book of Luke in chapter 20, that are talking about how they all acknowledge about the godliness, about godliness in them, pretending to be godly people in this New Testament. But actually they have an ulterior motive. They were looking for a way to have a way to get Christ to say things that they will use in order for them to condemn him. In your reflection, your reflection should be, is there something you are saying, or is there something that you are doing? But it's a pretense, pretending to be a believer, to be a Christ-like person, to be Christ-like. Is there something that is in your life that is hidden? Is there something that is of the old that you have not left, your ways you have not left? It is a time that it calls us into this particular moment, into a reflection about the life we live as Christians and as the soldiers. It is a time for you to reflect so that you will not be like those of the old. And in the old, you see in Joshua the deception of the inhabitants of Gibeon. They were living among the Jewish people. They were living among the Hebrew people. Among them, the Israelites. But they came and pretended to get him into a covenant. You see how they tried to capture them because they acted craftily. They have seen the way and what they did to the Jericho and Ai. If you remember last Sunday, we talked about Ai in Joshua chapter 7. And you saw how from the sin of one man who have stolen and want to eat and be a partaker of the table of God Almighty, then a lot of people suffered. Then we made a likeness into the vote that you cast, and by the vote that you cast, and all of you cast, and then you bring pain and suffering unto your people. And how to change those kind of life. And you see it playing again in chapter 9 in the Gibeon, for the Gibeonites, as they approached the promised land, about how they craftily pretended looking poor, but these are noblemen, people who are leaders, the elders of the people, like the politicians, and pretending. So you see the relationship between the old and the new that Christ was talking about, or was reported about Christ's encounter with his own people in the book of Luke chapter 20. So where is the reflection today? Like I said, if you go through the scriptures yourself, you can see the craftiness of the things that they said about the way they look. They looked tattered, unkempt, poor. Like politicians, they come and give an example about what a poor person they are, what a poor life they are, what a poor neighborhood, because they want to connect with you. But at the end, you trusted them because you looked on the outside. Then by looking on the outside about how they look like you, like one of you. They may even look even in the color of your skin like the same. But at the end of the day, it brings you pain and suffering. But you can see that you are as responsible as you were in the Sunday school for the food that you put in your own body and the poison that you eat. That the Lord is ministering to you to say, it is a time also for you to reflect in your life to see where you are responsible for your own pain and your suffering, not God, not my Father. Because of the choices that you make and the things that you do, because of how you operate and live your life. As you read the letter, you see I move further to see also so that you can see the pain and the suffering that eventually came to them. because they were found out, they were discovered, because you cannot hide from God. A wicked is a wicked, and an evil person is an evil person. You cannot hide. It's like Satan trying to hide in the presence of God in the book of Job chapter 1 and chapter 2. He was found out. And then that the word they confess, in the confessions they have made about what they are, what they were suffering, became a curse upon their life in their suffering. So, why and how are you suffering? So, it is a time for us to reflect on this. It's a time for us to reflect. A time for us to reflect in the suffering that you have, the suffering of your life, and the things that you do. Has it anything to do with your pretense about your life? You are pretending to be who you are not. And you are not who you pretend to be. And as a result of that, then you begin and you started to suffer the things that you have thought in your mind and the things that you are making others to believe you are, where you are now. We are talking about ways and things that people need to change to reflect to see how they are responsible for what is going on in their life and their suffering and their pain. As you can see, in the book of Luke chapter 20, you see the Lord himself, how they were found out. Because the Lord knew their thoughts and what they were thinking. In the question that they asked him, and he asked them, do you have money with you? Whose head is on that coin? There are things of the world and there are things of the spirit. Galatians 5 makes us to understand that the things of the world, the physical realm, things of the physical, of the desires. We're talking about the desires of the body, the food that you eat, the clothes that you wear, the material things and your possessions, are always in conflict with the